Hi again everyone, welcome back to day number 3. This is the third video of our Roman tour, and then tomorrow we're going to have a look at how you can put what you've learned today and yesterday and on Monday into a lovely brochure to help Mr. HB know where to visit in Rome. So let's have a look again at my computer. I'm going to take you on a tour of the last 2 landmarks that we've decided to have a look at today. Let's go. Welcome back to our final part of the tour of Rome. We are today going to have a look at the Pantheon and a Roman villa. Roman villas, like the ones we're looking at today, may have been a little bit outside the city, but there would also have been rich and wealthy homes inside the city. Let's start with the Pantheon. Here is the beautiful Pantheon. It is a real tourist attraction in Rome still today. And what I want you to do, just like we did yesterday, I want you to pause the video, pretend you are a historian, see if you can notice details about the building, ask a few questions, try and work out what you think it might have been used for. Talk to an adult about it, or just come up with some questions yourself. Press pause. Let's go. Okay, well done. I'm going to show you a few of the things that I noticed about this building. I noticed these beautiful columns that seem to be holding up I think it's called a portico on the top, and that's that triangular shape. And there are a lot of them as well, so I wonder if it was really very heavy. I noticed this writing across the front of the building, and it made me think of a shop. So I wondered if it's like the name in Latin. This is how Latin letters would have been written at the time. Latin was the language the Romans spoke. And I wondered if, it might be the name, or it's got to be something important because it's on the front of the building and everyone can see it. So it must be something quite important. I noticed these enormous doors that seem to head into what I think is this round building attached to the back. So I wondered what might be inside there. So I found a few pictures and I'm going to take you inside to have a quick look at what the Pantheon looks like inside. Inside there is a gorgeous domed roof. I have no clue how they built this, and it is a real feat of engineering because this building was built in something like 27 BC, so very like thousands of years ago. And then I noticed this, and I wondered if this was a light bulb to begin with, but it's not. It's a bit slanty, so I wondered if this was just a hole in the top. I wasn't really sure. That it would seem strange to have a hole in the middle of a building. And then I noticed some of these gorgeous statues and pictures around the building as well. So again, going along with that idea we have that the Romans like to decorate things that are important to them, I thought this must be a really important building. Let's find out if any of our ideas are true. Here is a picture of a model that someone has made, and I put this on here because I thought it would give a really good idea of how the building itself looked. So that domed roof, let's start there. That's an amazing structure, and it was the largest domed roof in the world for well over 1,000 years. I think it's still the largest unsupported domed roof, so it's incredible. There is actually a hole in the top, and it's called the oculus, and it is the only way that light gets into this building. There are no windows inside. So the only way, so at night time you just must bump into everything. But in the daytime, it's full of light, own natural light from the sun. Which probably means when it's like a grizzly day, it's a bit darker in there than on a sunny day. Pantheon, the name of it, actually means, pan means all, widespreading, and theon is to do with gods. So it was a temple to all the gods. And if you remember from last week, the Romans liked to collect gods from different places that they conquered. So if they conquered a country and they liked their gods, they'd adopt them. And so this temple was a really good one because it was dedicated to all the gods there could possibly be. So it was quite important. It didn't matter who your god was, you could go to this temple. Something very special about this temple that I learned when I was doing some research was that the light from the oculus on the 21st of April at midday, I think, if the doors are open, will spill out onto that courtyard at the front where all those pillars are, and will light it up, and that's the only time of the year that it is lit up. And that day apparently is the day that Rome was founded, which is incredible. It's very, very intelligent to be able to construct a building that way. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you too much more about the Pantheon because I'd like you guys to do some research about it. So if you are really interested in the Pantheon, there will be some websites coming up again soon for you to have a look at and find out some more facts about. Let's now have a look at a Roman villa. Again, I want you to pretend you're a historian. Think about this house that we can see. It's in ruins, I know, but there are some clues as to what it might have looked like and what the different rooms and things might have been used for. So pause the video and have a little think and then come back. Okay, I'm going to show you a few things that I noticed. The first thing I noticed was these doorways, and I thought these doorways must mean that there are lots of different rooms, and if it's a villa, if it's someone's house, it might be like my house. I have lots of different rooms, and those rooms have doors. So I wondered what kinds of rooms they might have in their houses, if they had bathrooms, but then they have the Roman baths. So I wasn't sure, maybe you have to be really rich to have a bathroom in your house. I wondered if they might have a kitchen. Did they make their own meals, or did someone else do that for them? Interesting. I wonder if you guys will be able to find out. Then I noticed these little stacks of stones, and if you researched the Roman baths yesterday, you might have found out that this was how the Romans created their underfloor heating systems. They built little stacks of stones and heated the hot air that ran beneath the floor. So a floor would have been on the top of those stones, and the hot air would have run underneath it and kept the floors warm. So I imagine this might be a rich person's house because they've got underfloor heating. Very special. And then I noticed a mosaic. If there's a mosaic, what do we know? We know it's going to be an important place because it's been decorated. I have a suspicion that the Romans liked to show off a bit. If you remember what Hercules was like when we first met him, he wanted a mosaic to show off his 12 labours. And I wonder if Roman people were very similar, if they liked to show off their wealth and all the things they had with these beautiful mosaics. What I've got here for you is a model again and a drawing of how a Roman villa might have looked. Now these villas, as I said before, were probably in the countryside because there's more space to spread out rather than in the towns, and they would have belonged to wealthier people. In the middle of these houses there would have been an atrium, an area where you could walk and enjoy, and it would have been like a courtyard outside. It would have been beautiful, and a place to just go walk and enjoy a bit of free time. There would have been bedrooms, there would have been a dining room. Something really cool about Roman eating is that they didn't eat sitting down at a dining table like we do at school or like we might do at home. They would lay down and eat, so it must have taken them hours to eat their dinner. And I can only imagine how my spaghetti bolognese would be if I was eating laying down, but maybe they ate some different foods. They would have had a kitchen, but they probably, if you're wealthy, wouldn't have made their own food. Their servants or slaves would have done that for them, and they would have their own part of the house to live in as well, to be separate from the family. They would have also had, and if you have a look towards the back of the model, they would have had some stables or some animals that they kept, perhaps even a bit of a farm or a vegetable patch where they could grow and create their own food. So these villas were very, very special as well. So I'm not going to tell you much more about villas, as I'm not going to tell you too much more about the Pantheon. Hopefully you've heard enough to make your decision about which one you would like to research a bit more. So your challenge for today, a bit different from yesterday's, but it starts very similarly. We'd like you to choose the wonder that you would like to find out more about, have a look at the websites, find out some more information, and then create your own model of your wonder, your villa or your Pantheon. You could use junk, you could use like building blocks, you could use some paper. I've had to go with paper. I'm going to show you my one in just a minute. But when you have made your model, we want you to add some of these lovely facts that you have researched onto your model. Don't forget that we're building up our knowledge of Rome so that we can make a brochure, a tour brochure, so people know what they want to go and look at when they go and have a look around Rome. So make sure you're gathering facts that you can add to your writing tomorrow. So let's have a look at the one that I made. Okay, so here is the model that I have built. Hopefully you can tell it's the Pantheon and not a Roman villa. That would be great. I remember that there are loads of columns inside. I've written loads of facts that I found out along the columns and along the front of my portico. I think it's called a portico. I think the best fact that I found out was that there are, now bear with me, there are dead kings and queens buried in there, but that's not the coolest fact. One of the queens was called Queen Margherita, and the pizza Margherita is named especially after her. That is very cool. I had a little go at making the temple at the back as well. Again, using paper and a lot of sellotape. And I had a go at cutting the oculus in the top so that the light can get in. I'm sure you guys can use lots of different materials. I just used paper, but I'm sure you guys could use toilet rolls, you guys can use cardboard boxes, anything you like to have a go at making your own model. And then I would love it if you could graffiti some of your incredible facts that you find out all over the model that you make. We're going to go for 10, see if you can get 10 facts about a Roman villa or 10 facts about the Pantheon on there. If you find more, amazing. There are a lot of interesting facts. So good luck, guys. Can't wait to see photos of your model. Enjoy. Bye.